Yeah, I thought we, for the most part, tried to compete in battle. Didn't like the end of the first half for sure, but the way last week went, at least we came back, settled down, got back in it for a while. Defensively, we can talk about making plays. They got a good offense, and they do a great job. I think one of the keys is our ability to move the ball but not get points, because we have several times across midfield, several times in scoring zone that we come away with nothing or three. I thought it's a game to win. We need to score 35, 40, 42, 45, and we left some points on the board. So credit Bill, Penn State did a good job. And last thing, I mean, I kind of feel for Mike Martin too. I was kind of a kid, you know, when you go against you watch other players, and when I'm sorry that kid got hurt, because the kid plays the punt team as hard as anyone I've ever seen. So I just love him as a player. He like going against good players, so I kind of feel for them. We lost Charlie Love, senior, last week. He got a knee, so I think it's our game. It's a part of our game, but I hate it when a great player like that gets hurt. It's just got a knee, but we wish him well. He's a special player. He's an opponent. I respect him. What you got?
Defensively, I guess, I mean, it seemed like the whole defender turnover used to have a bunch of missed tackles. Obviously, it's strong for some big plays. How those kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and again, we'll keep looking. You know, as we move scheme-wise, we're getting guys in the right place with the right guys. We were there sometimes. They had play, I know, starting in the second half where we were doing great coverage man-to-man. We thought whatever backer's head, it's a great throw on target. And I don't know if we can get in better position. Didn't make the play. You know, we make some good plays in the line of scrimmage. I think as we look at some things, our support with linebackers and secondary, we just lose leverage on the ball and give up some plays. I really appreciate those two inside guys and three, Kelton and Nick, the way those guys battle, those receivers. We got to keep working defensively. We're not at a point right now we're going to play shutdown defense, but we got to keep finding ways to play better as we move forward, that's for sure. Those 2 weeks ago.
All those drives where you got across Penn State's 40 and got either 3 or nothing. Was there a consistent problem you felt there was, or what do you think the issue was with that?
Execution. A couple times I think there was, one time I think we were rolling, there's a play review. One time I think it's, one guy's got injured, and, some things like that get you a little bit out of rhythm because we were kind of rolling a little bit, and we were just a little bit off. So they didn't do anything unusual. We had a couple score zone opportunities. We need to be a little cleaner, and because we didn't run the ball, one of the best ways to be a good scoring zone team is when you run the ball. When the field gets compressed, the zones are tighter, the windows are tighter. So you got to run the ball, and we run the ball for 30, 40 yards. And we got to keep working to get a run game going. You don't have a real good running game, and we like to throw it some, but we want some balance. And earlier in the year, the more balance we have, the better we work. When you don't run it well and you don't play good defense, it's tough to win. That's the main reason why we're on the wrong side of the ledger now.
Game goes for 450, but there are, I guess, a lot of plays that you saw that you kind of left out there.
I thought he left a bunch. We're going to keep putting the ball in his hand, and he's got to make some plays, some tight windows, tight throws. A couple third down throws, just run past bubbles. He's throwing some passes he shouldn't. And to move the chains, hurt us a couple of those when you get to the 40. A couple of times we had the combination of run and throw, and he took a throw that wasn't there. It was just, just give and take. And sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. If we didn't want him to throw it, we could call the play without it. But we're putting the ball in his hands. And sometimes, as he continues to grow, let's remember again, he is our backup. He's been here less than a year. He threw for 400 a day, and he lifts a lot out there. And that's a decent building point for he. We didn't play Nate today. Nate last week got nicked up with concussion. Didn't practice Monday. Was back Tuesday long. But we just thought, let's make sure he was clear to go. And there's no problems with him. I kind of he's coming off it. Why take a chance to go out there? He just hit his head on the ground as he slid last week, and he'll be good. That being said, we'll kind of have both of them back in the mix. We kind of went into this one unless there's a problem. We're just going to ride what we can. But both those guys got to keep coming. And we still like Trey. But I think when the season's over, we'll go back and look. Now Cam has probably started to play more football than Trey. So we have an interesting dynamic as we move to next year.
Robinson made several big plays with the DB right on him. He's just a better athlete making that kind of play. He's
very good. And credit to him. Same time, again, when our guys are there, they've got to make the play too. So, our guys, we played some man coverage, challenge coverage. A couple times we had it, and play extended. We had one time they had a screen and go. We had it covered. The guy broke his right off, and we throw it and get tackled on the 2. But again, we're in position. Sometimes we got to make plays. Sometimes we're not in position, and that's our fault either in getting them lined up or calling better things. Sometimes they're in position. You got to make the play. And today we didn't do that. So that's credit. That kid is a very good football.